signal's clear, coming through Geocache Talk. A voice on the line I hear, coming through Geocache Talk.
It's time for Geocache Talk. Whether you are at work, in the car, or wherever you are, we hope you enjoy this show about the great sport of geocaching. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can be part of the adventure tonight in the chat room and participate with others as they watch the show. If you are listening later, please give it a like and subscribe on your favorite podcasting app so that you can get all of the weekly Geocache Talk goodness.
Big thanks to the Travel Bugs for our music and our opening. Thank you so much, Steve, for that. And our featured patrons on a boat. JR and Juju, Team G Winchester, Boo Boo 1, Kitty Catch, Finlay and his Drudge, Seabeck Tribe, Shark C, Curious KDB, Gene Hunter, and our new patrons, Railroad, Mustard Devil, Adi Olson, Autumn EB, and Team Monroe's. If you'd like to become a patron, click on the, it's new now. Well, it's new on the website. It's now no longer become a patron. It's the heart. Click on the heart. Link on the front page of the Geocache Talk website, or head on over to patreon.com/Geocache Talk for more details. Patrons get the now famous blackout coins and our other geocaching items during the year, as well as bonus content. Got a lot of that coming up, by the way. Invites to special events only for patrons. Also that coming up, we'll talk about. Support level start at as little as Bison Tube level, which is $3 a month. And if you're really curious, it goes all the way up to Golden Ammo Can. That's just $10 a month. So let's jump right into show 212 as we discuss the second part, or the final part also, of the Quality Caching Survey. How'd that go?
Yeah, that's right. This should be a good one, and Gary has not let me see it yet. So,
nope.
He likes to hide stuff with me and surprise me so he can try to embarrass me live on TV.
Hidden.
Does this not TV on the web? I don't know.
Broadcast,
podcast,
podcast
a thing anymore. I mean, everything's Netflix or internet anyway. So
I don't know. So big thanks to Burnt Turtles for last week's show.
Oh yeah,
that was a lot of fun. Discussing the Shelter Mothers Challenge. I don't know what name you give it. I think the Shelter was kind of a cool name for it. But anyway, that was fun. So thank you so much for that.
I'm sad that I never got to do one of those, but hopefully one day there'll be another one like that, and we can all go do it.
Darren, thank you, my friend. Hope everything's going good in the future.
That's right.
It's always
tell us how this turns out. Please let us know when all this world goes back to normal.
It's not future to him. No, I always do that. I always do that to Craig. Craig, how's the future look? He goes, it's looking great. All right.
So before we get into the news, though, tomorrow is one of those patron events.
Oh, cool.
And since we have such a cool logo, I'll show it again.
Mm-hmm.
We have our next meeting of our Geocache Talk book club for the patrons. And I did good this time. So I read a lot. And as you know, last time I messed up and read like the day that we finished the last one. So it was like a month.
Right.
This one I finished. I timed it right. I waited till the very end, and I just finished it up today. So
cool.
So it'd be a little more close to our actual book club, but
yeah.
But it's a fun one, geocache related book. I'm not going to go into a long story about it, but it's tomorrow night finally, so we get to meet again and do that. That's been pretty fun. We'll keep that going for a long time. Hopefully, there's no shortage of books.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, we're at a higher video quality. Landon's mentioning that too as well. If you're having any issues, you could lower the quality down. We're at 1080p now, but if you prefer, you can lower us to like 480 or something. So
just lower Gary to 480.
Just lower mine. Keep Jesse. He's the better looking guy anyway. So keep his at 1080p. Lower mine to 480 or.
Yeah, I don't think people come to this show for models. They come to talk about geocaching. So,
yeah. Lower mine down to 110 or something.
But it's interesting you bring that up too. They have increased the resolution for this, the platform we get to use for this. Once again, we only get to use this platform because of patrons, right? But they've also added something else, which we're not going to bring up yet because we got to figure out how to actually use it. They added another new feature recently that should be a lot of fun for some events, some hopefully patron events and stuff like that coming up. We just got to make sure it'll work seamlessly before we do it. But they keep adding more things, and we would not have this except for the patrons. So we get these fun toys that we could all share. So more fun stuff to come on that.
Absolutely. Well, let's jump into the news. We have a lot of news tonight, so
and I love that bumper. That bumper's awesome.
I know it's awesome. Thank you to Derek Baker Six Clan for doing that. We have a lot of news. So if Scott's on tonight, tell him just hang on. We'll get to the topic. The show has started. We've been going for 6 minutes and 20 seconds. So just everybody take it. Everybody relax. Everybody enjoy the news. We have a lot of news to discuss. Not a lot, but we have some. So sit back, relax, enjoy the news.
Number one news that we have to mention.
Yes.
The blog.
The blog.
We need more blogs. So we've got some in reserve, but we really, really want the blog to continue to be people's accounts. I know people are out there caching because I'm getting tons of logs on my caches every weekend. So I know y'all have stories. Send them in. We have an awesome blog manager. But she wants to publish your blogs, not just ours. She's got some of ours, but they're not as much fun. You hear our stories. We really want to hear your stories. So help Angie out. Send in some blogs. And she can help you get whatever your story is out there, which that's so unique when all those individual stories, a different writer every week. I mean, every time we do one of those, it's a lot of fun. So send those in. We really need those. We want to make sure we have them and keep continuing to get people's stories out there.
Yes, please contact Angie, a.k.a. at GeoJangie. That's because her husband's John Angie Jangie, to write a guest blog post, or if you have any recommendations for subjects or authors, I can reach out via my email, jangiegowest@gmail.com, or through that cutoff, but it's Instagram, Facebook, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, she's everywhere.
So forth and so on. Oh, you're going to have somebody at your event there, Jesse?
Oh, yeah. Oh, what? Oh, no way.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That is tomorrow. That's right. Yeah, we're so lucky. We're allowed to have, because we had to give like safety plans, but we've got an ongoing weekly event, and it looks like Mary's going to be there, so that's going to be cool. That's tomorrow morning, 6:30 to 7 o'clock every Monday morning. For I think we're on like event number 192. We're almost at our 200th event, so
that is awesome.
We would have been right at 200, except for something stopped us for a couple months.
Yeah, something.
We're not going to mention that. Something that cannot be named.
The unmentionable.
That's right.
Thanks for everybody being here. TriCache is here. Chad, what I'm enjoying is I get to see Gilby every week because Joshua is still putting out Gilby. Because Gilby is the dog, by the way, in case anybody want to know. It's the dog. It's the Disneyland of geocaching.
I'd rather go there than Disneyland, I'll be honest.
That's true. That's why it's the Disneyland of geocaching. It's the dog. So, Sherry's want to know, is the seating in restaurants back normal?
Not for us. We're sitting outside.
Is it really?
So, no, that's not true. So on our coffee event, we sit outside. There are some inside tables. And here in Colorado, what we have now is they have reduced capacity.
Yeah.
So, people have to wear masks to like get in the building, but inside when you're eating and drinking coffee and all that other stuff, nobody has to wear mask or anything like that. The only thing they do here is if you're going to like if you're walking around the restaurant, going to the restroom or something like that, that's when they ask you to wear your mask, but and walking in to like get seated.
Yeah.
But not when you're sitting. And now all the staff does, but like around here, and I don't know where it is everywhere else. And this is kind of one of those good, bad things, right? Like it's all spread out. So I was sitting the other day at the restaurant, and we just got done caching this last, the other day with some friends, and we're sitting at a restaurant, and the tables are not close up on top of each other anymore.
Yeah.
And I sat there thinking, when COVID's over, I don't want them to put double the tables that are in here. I like having the space in here now. Exactly. getting kind of spoiled with this. Like, there's nobody right up on top of you. They're not cramming everybody into a business. So
Yep.
I hope some of the things linger even after we beat this virus and everything else. There's some traffic things and some space things that I'm kind of liking a little bit. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm getting accustomed to some of the things.
Yeah. I would say Texas is similar. We pretty much order out and take it home, but once in a while we have gone, but you wear it in and then you eat and wear it out. So, I mean, wear your mask in and then wear it going out. So.
We still try to stay away. It's not worth it right now. That's why hobbies like geocaching are so good.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about this weekend. We've been, out of all the other hobbies we do, we've been resorting to geocaching and jeeping, and we're happy doing those and just staying away from everybody. And who'd have thought we'd have been in the healthy hobby? But
I know, boy, ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
We've been doing similar. We're about to go on the last hurrah before school starts. Now that Susan works in the school district, we're taking Labor Day weekend and we're going almost. It takes 2 days, even though you're still in the state of Texas. It takes 2 days to get to Big Bend, but it's a whole other world out in Big Bend National Park. It's mostly back open, so really looking forward to going back out there. I love it out there. It is unbelievable. It really is. It's like being on another part of the world. I mean, even though it's part of Texas. So
nice.
All right. Sponsor tonight is AFK Geocaching. We want to mention our sponsors. And they have something out there called GC Trackables. So go check out gctrackables.com. Got some cool things on there. You can trade trackables. You can check on your trackables. They have a very quick, you just pop it up and it'll show you. There you go. Thank you. It has a very cool map. It tells you exactly where your trackables are. I don't know if you've looked at yours lately, Jesse. I went, checked mine, and they're out there. One's in Germany, still bouncing around Germany, which is great. Thank you, Germans, for taking care of my trackable over there. So
mine are hit and miss. I could start talking about it, but it's a whole show in and of itself. We may have to do later.
Mm-hmm.
Because I stay pretty active watching my trackables and things like that, and some of them turn out well, and some of them not so much. But as soon as I get a trackable, I send it out. I don't, I try not to keep them that much. I have coins, but all the other trackables I try to send out. I've sent a bunch out.
I have too.
And I've made some mistakes with those things over time. I've learned, but
I have too.
That's probably a good show in and of itself. Like the things
it is. From it is. I'm always making mistakes because you really should attach something somehow so people can know if it wants to go somewhere. I mean,
I made dumb mistakes in that. That's another show. I mean, I don't even think I don't think it is because I'm embarrassed now that I did some of the dumb things that I did. But yeah, exactly. That's for another show.
It is for another show. But anyway, GC Trackables, check them out.
Mm-hmm.
AFK Geocaching, check them out on the Facebook's a good place to find them. AFK Geocaching is our sponsor tonight. All right, real quick, upcoming shows, because I always tended to forget these, so I put them now in the news because I would tend to forget mentioning them. Next week, show 213, we're having on Chris Mackey. Chris does geocoins. He does geocoin design like nobody else in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You can fight me on that because his are the greatest. So I don't care what you say. He is the greatest.
He makes some pretty awesome designs. There's no doubt
about it. He makes some incredible stuff. So we're going to talk with Chris and talk about what are possibilities that you can come up with. And we'll talk about some of the crazy stuff he's done. He's done a lot. Going Caching has some unbelievable coins. You could do a puzzle coin. You can do pretty much anything you could ever imagine. Chris can figure those out and help you on those. Like I said, in 2 weeks, I'll be in Alpine, Texas, probably somewhere like that. And Jesse and I are going to talk about stealth because we haven't talked about it really before. So stealth required. It came up I saw it as a topic one day and I thought, that's kind of a cool thing to talk about because we both have our expert stealth thoughts, I think.
That's right.
So
And mistake.
we have a lot of new cachers that listen to the show or watch the show. So, if we don't periodically cover something like that, who's going to cover it? So, and then in 3 weeks, a little more advanced topic, because we tend to do advanced topics most of the time. And that one is we're going to have on Randall H. Randall H has done a lot of cool things, a lot of kayaking. So Jesse, kind of get your kayak back out.
Yep.
And get ready, because we're going to do discussions about multi-day kayaking trips. He's done that. He's done some other cool stuff that needs discussion. So Randall H will be on September 13th. And then it gets crazy after that. We have some great shows coming up. Quickly, website updates. Gadget Talk. If you go check out Gadget Talk, not right now, but later. They've updated their part of the website. The podcast calendar is updated to October. So check that out. One of the dates on there is a patron party. We've never really, we've done them kind of, but people have always asked, what are y'all going to do on your fifth Tuesday of the month? And there you go. Our fifth Tuesday a month is going to be patron parties.
Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. We'll kick out the jams and have a great time doing that. So still time. If you want to jump in there, do that. It's coming up soon. All right. I think we have covered all that I can mention, because my head's about to explode with more announcements that I can't talk about.
A couple of them, actually.
Yeah, now I'm up to 2. One was mind blowing enough, and then the next one came about and my head's spinning, so I can't. And
one thing we can guarantee, they'll both be spectacular.
Yes.
I don't know if that's good spectacular or bad spectacular, but spectacular failure or achievement, one of the two. But either one. Even one of the two. Let's see what happens. So,
dress code for that patron party is
dressed.
Just
dressed. Anything. It doesn't matter.
Direwolf's hat and shirts only.
Just stay seated, and we'll be all good.
It'll be a YouTube, but it'll be a private YouTube. So there you go. Cash pants, please. Yes, UDAC, you were correct. So, Sherry's still asking. No, yeah. Can I mention the one? No, I can't. Can I mention? Yeah. Can I mention the meeting that we're? No, I can't mention the meeting we're having. Are we? I can't. Can I? No.
None of those things, because we want to let them cook before they're ready. Until they're ready, right?
Yeah, they're not ready to come out of the oven yet. One of them's got to be close. Okay. All right, we're moving on before I say something wrong.
That's right.
All right. Cache quality.
And this is the second part of the survey, right? So when was that originally? Do you remember?
These are kind of the results of that. The first time we discussed this was show 131. Hang on, I'll tell you when that was. Oh, wow, that was freaky. How did I do that? I don't know what's the date on that. Hang on, I'll tell you. So we talked about show 131, and that was on.
Oh my gosh, that's a long time ago.
It was a while. I mean, time flies. Let me tell you, time flies when you're podcasting. 131 was. Oh, it was January 6th of 2019.
Oh my gosh, it's been that long. And we intended to do the other part, and we just kept kept good guest. But so we decided to hold it. Yeah. And talk about the other part of it. So
yeah, we kept on.
Originally a survey by HQ sent out.
Yeah, well, the survey was done back in 2018. Mm-hmm. And 2018, here's what they wrote. They says in mid-2018, we invited the geocaching community into a conversation about cache quality. As we said then, HQ has taken steps in recent years to bring cache quality into greater focus because we think it is very important to the continued vitality of the game. Before we continue with more projects to encourage cache quality and expect the community to focus on quality, we wanted to hear geocachers' thoughts on the subject. And so they sent out the survey. They got back nearly. Did you do the survey, by the way, when it came out? Do you remember?
No, because you told me not to. You told me not to open the email because you don't want me to see it.
True.
And that's, first of all, so for HQ, I do every survey that they send out.
Except that one.
Ahead of time said, do not fill this one out. So
that's right.
You skip this for any other reason other than our podcast. So
that's true. There you go. You took one for the team.
That's right. That's right.
Nearly 12,000 people from 58 countries participated. The respondents were some of the community's most experienced and engaged players. 80% own a cache, 85% have found 500 plus caches, and 95% are premium members. So
that's interesting too, because they talk about the most experienced cachers, and you notice when they send out the surveys, it's like, I found one. How many caches have you found? Right. And it'll be like 1 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 100, and then more than 100. Like, really? That's your benchmark for really experience is 101? But whatever. 101? I know they have to set normal to, like, I don't know. But I always find that interesting on their surveys. I guess they're really lowballing what they think people have found out there. And I guess, I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. We'll have to dig into Project GC and see what the average cacher has actually found. What's the median of everybody? So,
and we are going to do a Project GC show here. Gosh, they're starting to add up. We got Doug McCrae from the creator of Ms. Pac-Man is going to be on here soon. We just had on the Dr. Beagle. We've had some cool. We have a lot of cool.
Well, we want to get to all these topic shows, but you keep booking people that we're not going to that we're not on. So
this one fit in well.
But this will be a fun topic tonight, which we thought, because this was sent out in 2018.
Yep.
They revealed some of the results which we talked about in 2019. Now it's 2020.
Yeah.
How much has changed towards the better on what they targeted? So that's going to be an interesting. Like they asked the community in 2018, what do we need to do to make it better?
Right.
Well, it's 2 years later, so let's see what's done to make it better, and go through part of the survey too. So that'll be a good one to be able to go. Now, in fairness, there's a little bit of stuff going on in the world. So
a little bit.
They are kind of busy. So
first one, most important here. I'll put it in the banner so people can watch it as we go. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what has really changed. So the first question that we're talking about tonight is the most important factors for a high quality geocache. So I have a top 10 list. It's top 14 list. So
did they give the choices when they did this?
They did. I have the factors in order of importance. But
so let's go through them then, I guess.
Okay.
All the ones that came up.
Yeah. I'll give you all of them. Let me see if I can give them in some sort of random order. Okay. So here are the items, and then we'll talk about them.
Okay.
Helpful hints. Accurate. That's on there. Helpful hints. That's not number one. I'm just reading them in randomized order.
Personal preference, though, right?
Yeah.
Would you rank that in the top 10?
Helpful hints.
I can see good. What? In fairness, I just found one this weekend.
Yep. That
I would not have found other than the hint. So I'm not going to say where it was or whatever, but the hint was, and this is what I would consider a good hint. So, and it ties right into this, right? So this is where I'd give it a point for a good hint. I'm not going to say what it was because it is what it is, right? People could figure out which one I found, but the hint was another name for song, which doesn't immediately tell you like it's under the lamppost, right?
Right.
It wasn't a lamppost, by the way, but what does that make you think? I didn't immediately come up with this. It took a minute, and Christy came up with it, but
no name for song could be a ditty, could be a ballad.
This is exactly the words that I was saying, and Christy was like, "Well, none of these make sense." Keep going.
Another name for song.
To it.
A tune.
I said that too.
Okay. Gosh.
So how long before you would come up with track?
No, never.
I didn't either. Christy Googled it and found it out. But once you got that hint at the location we're at,
right,
it zeroed you right into where to go. That was a good hint, right? Because you can immediately go, oh crap, I saw the hint and it said it's, under the tire or something.
Yep.
So and now without that hint, it still took a little while with the hint to get it.
Still took a while.
So something like that is good. When you open the hint, like you're struggling and you look at the hint and it goes, it's right there. Right. It tells you exactly where it is. I don't like those as much because that gives away the whole thing. But so a helpful hint like that, actually, I guess would. And I don't know what the other ones are yet, but that's pretty good, I would say.
It ended up becoming. It ends up being in the top 10. Let me give you the other ones.
Okay.
Accurate attributes. So consider that one. Clever or custom container. That
should be in the top 3.
It was number 11.
What?
I know. Fun and or challenging puzzle.
Fun, okay. Yeah, top 5.
Nope. Includes parking parking coordinates if available.
If it's a hiking one, that's good, but I would rank that a little bit lower because you know what? I'm going to do my own research, and I'm probably not going to park where you say. I'm going to park as close as I can and go straight to the mountain. So
yeah, it was outside the top 10.
Yeah.
Largest container for location. Now
that is the opposite. So that's not even on the list, right? That was like what is not a good thing.
It was number 14. So you're right. Both of us think the same way.
What kind of kindergartner needs that? But anyway, let's move on from that. We beat that one to death.
We did.
I don't need you to have me a 55-gallon drum for me to be able to find it.
Yes, you don't need the largest container. Some people, though, they want the largest container for that location. It's got to be the largest. It's like, what fun is that? Put a micro in the woods.
How bad of a finder are you? But whatever.
Put a nano in the woods. Come on. Challenge accepted. Dang, people.
Yeah, see, look, and I'm pretty sure Adi Olson was talking about the container, or the creative container, not
that's number 1,
right? So
no, all right. So let me get to. There's some other ones, but let's just jump in because we've got a lot of questions to go through tonight. So,
the other ones, I want to hear it now.
You want to hear the next ones? Okay. So the other ones are.
So you've got to at least tell me what they are.
All right. Accurate coordinates.
Yeah, pretty. That's important, I guess.
Does not harm the environment.
I mean, I guess I'm supposed to say that's important.
I guess. Owner maintains the cache regularly.
Extremely important.
Top 10?
Yes, because you cannot find a cache if it's not there.
Top 5?
How good you are. What is that Travel Bug song, Billy Finder? That he can find everything, whatever. Even he couldn't find that one, right?
That's right.
You can't find it if it's not there. So
it's still out there.
And that's extremely high.
Billy Finder. That's a good one. Go check out the Travel Bugs. Containers suited to the environment.
Extremely important, especially if you're in an area that has, a big drastic weather change throughout the year, like freezing cold and very, very hot and stuff like that, or really dry and all of a sudden really wet. That's pretty important, I would say.
Some of the other ones were accurate DT rating.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a whole show on that too, but that's got to be top 10.
It is. It was top 5. It was number 5. Well hidden from non-geocachers.
Important except gadget caches.
Yeah.
Like ones that are particularly there, like in a parking lot of a bank or not a bank, of like an insurance company, and they know it's there and they're kind of watching it. Other than that, yeah, you do want to hide it because looking suspicious sucks. So
yeah, that's for sure. Interesting location.
Top 3. No, top 3. I'm going to tell you the 3 things. We've talked about this before, but the top things you do for a cache, the reason why is you take them somewhere they should be.
Right.
Awesome adventure to get there, whatever. That's all part of that. Good container, and then the rest of it is good story and all that other stuff too, right? But
sure,
that's what you want to do is take them somewhere cool. I know there's a lot of urban caching, but if there's still cool urban places too.
The other one was accurate attributes.
Yeah, I don't really care. I don't pay attention to that.
It was top 10. It was top 10. It was number 9.
And I would say that I wouldn't put that in the top 10 because people don't use those appropriately. So I don't even really look at them. The famous ET, every one of those is a scuba cache. People put whatever they want in there so they can fill up their grids a lot of times.
Right.
And at first there was really no control. So you could put like scuba on like an event and
right
stuff. And
I use a lot of the do nots. So
yeah, exactly. See, Tom knew exactly what I was talking about. I mean, I guess technically you could bring your scuba out there, but I don't know why you would. There's no water.
There's no water.
Maybe we'll have to dig into attributes later, but I don't know that anybody really gets that upset about attributes. There's no checks and balance. Location, the sea.
Location. Right, Lyndon?
That's right. They got it right.
So this is interesting. So you were asked of those 14 that I gave you,
yes,
to rank them.
Mm-hmm.
And based on the ranking, if there were some that obviously they basically ranked them by importance, by very or extremely important for a high quality cache. The number one, 92% of survey respondents ranked accurate coordinates as the top, as the number one factor of importance.
So they're wrong though.
They are 92%.
Apparently only 8% of the caches know what they're talking about. No, to me, when I'm finding a cache, the phones are super accurate now, right?
They are, you're right.
I get within 30 feet of it or whatever, and it's pointing me in the direction. I put my phone in my pocket at that point anyway and start using my senses at that point. I want to look around and find the hunt and everything else, and I'd say location should be number one.
Right.
Good container would be number 2, and then maintenance would be number 3, followed by all the accuracy of everything else.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. So
accurate coordinates, which I'm with you. I'm not really.
don't lie on them, right, and say they're somewhere else. But
no,
within 15, 30 feet. Now they're making GPS now where it's going to be down to like 16 centimeters or something.
Yeah,
that's not even a game anymore.
Yeah. That's also for another show.
It's like playing hide and seek when you're doing this as a kid, right? Like, yeah, go hide.
Exactly.
I can't see you, not at all. Go ahead.
So here they are in the order of importance. Just so comment as we go. Accurate coordinates, which I don't think is number 1.
No,
it made number 1. Number 2 is doesn't harm the environment. Okay, that's all right.
People feel like they have to say that, and you don't want to harm the environment because that's terrible, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, I don't know, when I hide a cache, I always, now that we've been doing it for years, one thing I do is, this is a good tip, I think, for people who haven't hit a lot yet, or maybe they're new to the game, is when you think I'm going to put a cache in a certain location,
mm-hmm.
the first thing I think of is, if a toddler looks for it, where are they going? Because the public are toddlers. I'm sorry. Yes. But if you think, I'll put it at the edge of this landscaping, they're not going to go in. No, they're going to trample through the landscaping because I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had that happen to me personally, and I felt terrible about it too.
A lot of geocachers don't pay attention to things. So
in that sense, I guess you're right. In that sense, I was thinking about nailing into trees and stuff like that. And
sure.
Which people get so up in arms about, which probably doesn't even hurt the tree that much in the first place. I mean, it's a tree.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to damage the environment, but that hasn't been at the top of my list that I've noticed enough of that to be like on a soapbox about that. In general, most of the caches, at least that I've found, I haven't seen anybody really just tearing things up. So
right. Next one is on your list. Owner maintains the cache regularly.
Yeah, it should be in the top 5 for sure.
It was number 3. Number 4 is the container suited to the environment. Whatever.
But that falls into maintenance stuff like that, accuracy maintenance stuff. So
it does. I'm just happy that the last one is what it is. But okay, so number 5 is the accurate DT rating. Okay. I don't lose sleep over if the DT rating's not accurate.
Well, it depends.
It does.
With the caveat, we're not talking about ones. If we're talking about 1.5 terrain and higher, it doesn't matter how accurate it is. When you're
Yeah.
talking about a 1 terrain, that's important for a different reason. But if you're
It
talking
is.
1.5 terrain and higher, you should really pay attention. Don't go and
Absolutely.
get a 5 situation if you're only capable of a 2 situation. But get the 1 right. If it's a 1 terrain, get that right. Other than that, people are subjective, right?
Yep. And we need to hide more 1s, by the way. I always think
every week. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. If your event. Yeah.
No, you're right. We do, and we probably should touch on that again.
We need to. We could have R&M cachers back on. He caches. Of course, he can cache and do others because even though he's disabled, his wife isn't, so they can kind of they kind of tag team, so they can do them. But I try to always do as many 1s as possible to help out, to try to get more people who are disabled who can geocache. So I just did one the other day. It was a 1. So
the sport should be open to everybody with different things for everybody. So
please don't mark them incorrectly.
No.
You have to think about it. That's a good question. I don't think, can you do lyre caches anymore? Is that allowed?
We need to check into this because I was under the impression that you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
However, I found one that was fairly new. So I don't know if they lied to the reviewer or it was allowed, but it was an absolute liar's cache, 5.5 on the side of the road, like on a guardrail.
Were people playing?
Yeah.
Were people playing along? Because the liar's cache,
you're
supposed to write an incredible story.
Yeah, and those are funny, but that's better than marking a 1-1 and a 5.5 as a 1-1. Marking a 1-1 as a 5.5 is a lot less dangerous than marking a 5.5 as a 1-1. So
yeah. Yes, that's very true, Lori. DT ratings are also based on how people feel.
Yeah,
but
it is. The guidelines are pretty vague, so people will get there's interpretation in there.
Yeah, there is. Hidden. So accurate. So 6 through 10 were well hidden from non-cachers. Interesting location was 7. I think that needs to be higher.
Number 1. Go ahead.
Well-written description was 8. I'm sorry. I think I missed that one to tell you. 8. Accurate attributes was 9. 10 was helpful hint, which you think should be higher, probably.
I think that's more important than a lot of the other things. Yeah.
Clever or custom container was 11. Fun and or challenging puzzle was 12. I guess that's necessarily not needed for quality.
Well, it is. Well, in a puzzle cache, it is, right?
It is puzzle cache.
That's one specific thing, but you can kind of combine that and cache page description together. If you combine those two, like good quality description, cache page, and or puzzle, then I think that would move up the list quite a bit.
Yep. And then 13 and 14 includes parking coordinates and largest container for location. Next question we're going to talk about is, if more geocache finders took certain steps, how helpful would each be to improving geocache quality? Unlike the first question, this wasn't as much separated between the top and the bottom. The last one was a big difference between number 1. The number 1 was by far was accurate coordinates was like blew away all the other ones.
Right.
This one was a little different. So the answers, there's 5. Okay, so I'll give you the 5.
So is it how helpful on a 1 to 5 scale, or what is the scale?
The scale was accurate, or I could pull it up. Helpful, extremely helpful, very helpful, somewhat helpful, not helpful, or extremely helpful, very helpful, somewhat helpful, not helpful at all, that kind of thing. So,
okay.
So according to respondents, the best step finders can take is to do a certain thing. I got 5 of them. I'll give you.
Okay.
So here are the answers. I will put them in random order again for you. There's 5. So first one is do not install new cache containers or throwdowns without consent or of the cache owner.
Okay, so here's the deal with that. That's not even a step to take. That's just like stop doing that.
Right.
That's like saying don't log it if you never went. That's about the same, right? Now, I don't know how that's going to improve quality unless you extrapolate that out. And I don't want to say it yet. In case, well, I will anyway. So if you say instead of doing that, show it needs maintenance because it's missing.
Right.
Or log a find that you didn't find. You know, the cache that you brought to the location is not a find.
Right.
If you take that, don't throw a throwdown, and you say, okay, you know what? I'm going to send this in for maintenance. Unless you're helping the owner and you know the owner and you have permission to do that.
Right.
I'm going to mark this as maintenance because he needs to come out here and do this and know that there's an issue with it, or this person's gone and it'll never be maintained, and now I'm maintaining a crappy cache. If you include that part of it, this will absolutely raise cache quality.
Yeah.
People just stop doing that.
Yeah.
It means one less little digital smiley, but you know what? It won't be maintained by the community. A terrible cache won't be maintained by the community in this case.
Yes. Stop fixing them unless you have permission.
Yeah. That's if you don't have permission. Now, if you're going out ahead of time, like a good cacher does, and there's a cache way out away, and you go, hey, I'm going to be out there checking on this cache. You know, is there anything, do you want me to replace it if it's missing or messed up or damaged? That's being a good geocacher.
We've done a few too where we'll send a note off to somebody that we know, the cache owner. If we know the cache owner, we'll send them a note. We'll move on. Like we did this the last Saturday where we ran across one. We know the owner, and we're like, he probably wants to fix it. Send him a quick note. Let's go find another one, and then we'll figure out what he wants to do. And sure enough, he's like, hey, yeah, can you fix that for me? Yeah, we went back and fixed it. So, but only because we know him and we know that he would normally fix them, but probably not it's against the rules apparently, I think. But anyway.
Now, and here's the question. I think would you sign it though? So if I'm going out there with the owner's permission, well, no, not the throwdown, but the owner's permission, they say, will you maintain the cache when you get out there?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I would actually sign that because, that is the new cache and everything else. I would do that, but not just toss one there and, now there's film containers at the bottom of the bush.
No throwdowns. No.
But, because and by the way, while we're on that, do that. If you're going out for a cache that doesn't get found, I don't mean one that's under a park bench in the middle of the city. That gets hit a lot.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going out of town somewhere, it's very helpful when you offer that to somebody else. Because I've had people, hey, I'm going out for your cache that's out here a certain way, and I haven't been out there in a while. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I'll even give them an extra container to take if the container's not part of the hide, like it's a tricky container or something. If it's like just a standard ammo can or something,
right?
Like, take this, and if I would love you to maintain that, or here's a new log to go in it, or anything like that. That's awesome. Not the micro under the park bench,
right?
It's not.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Okay, so that was one of the 5. Where would you put that?
Replacing logs.
Where would you put that one on the 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5?
So that one, I don't know yet, because I would say right now it's in number 1.
Okay.
So replacing logs came up. I don't think that's part of it. You should replace a log if you can, but you're not obligated to it. But
okay, one of the other 5.
It's number 1 of 1 so far.
Okay. Here's another one. Award favorite points more often.
See, you're going to make me do a caveat on every one of these. So I would put that as number 2 right now. It's more important to not do throwdowns, right? And maintenance. I'm going to as the maintenance part. Number 2, so they made it vague though. You shouldn't just randomly award more favorite points because you feel guilty.
Right.
Award them when it's appropriate.
So,
if there's something special above the norm, right?
Yeah.
Something special above the norm, throw a favorite point at it. Like we've talked about this many times. We'll put up a cache, and I know people say like they may be out of caches and stuff like that, but you go to a cache. I know you're ready to throw that up there. You go to a cache, and
I hope people brought a lot to drink tonight because the whole favorite point thing is really. We can go off on another show with that. So, all right, keep going.
You go to a cache and it's something special. Like, I don't understand why some people don't favorite point certain things. I know everybody has their own theory on it, and we could do a whole show, and we probably will again about it, but favorite point caches that deserve it, and I think that will reward people that want to put out creative caches. Don't favorite point caches that don't deserve it, and maybe that'll, weed that out. Not all the way, but some. So I'd put that as number 2 so far.
Yeah, it's so frustrating because right now and I don't know if I'm going to keep doing it or not because I've been watching the plaque
Yeah.
A new plaque.
Mhm.
It is at Mingo, the oldest active cache in the world. We, of course, were part of the whole deal, so we've got a skin in the game, as it were.
Mhm.
And people TFTC it. It's a virtual, number one, so that's cool. It's a plaque. I mean, it's not a plaque like this. Tiny plaque.
It's a historic plaque. You know, maybe some people
It's a historical marker.
Yeah. It's got a lot of favorite points, but percentage-wise, it does not.
No, but that's the thing. Why is that? Why do people not put a favorite point on it? Again,
we need to do our own poll, right? Because we can do. You know what?
We'll do it again.
Poll on that. Yep, there you go.
We did.
Yeah, we did. I just don't. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, next one. So, next one is write an honest, constructive online log. Where does that fall?
That's at the bottom of this list so far. I think it's nice to do that.
Okay.
And as a cache owner, I know that virtual, that's under my account. And I got a TFTC on that one this weekend. And I get some really neat logs, and I love those when I get neat logs.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's my main motivation to do it, but it is helpful. So
sure.
I also like favorite points. If I had to put them side by side, so number 2 and number 3 on this list, if I had to put them side by side, I think I would actually rather get a really cool log than a favorite point.
Okay.
Like I would take a really cool log over a TFTC and a favorite point. So maybe that's more important than the favorite points.
Interesting. Okay.
Other people have different opinions, but so those are pretty close to each other.
Okay. Here's another one.
Not everyone is a poet, and TFTC on an LPC, that seems normal to me.
Yeah, that's fine.
What else are you going to write? It's another LPC plus 1.
Plus 1.
But if somebody puts some effort into it, I like to write a neat log. And that doesn't mean it has to be 500 words long.
Right.
But, hey, this is really cool, and I liked it because of this. I think that can be just as meaningful, right?
Sure. A lot of times when I do, if like our MCC, we go out and do a few LPCs, I kind of put why we're out there. So if you're ever wondering, like, what do I write on this LPC? There was nothing. I lifted up and signed it. I mean, but you could put why you were there. You're out with friends and we took a day off of work and we went caching. I don't know, whatever it is.
I am a cut and paste fool.
Yeah.
I have a template set up and I give basic information on basic caches. Now, when I go to one that's unique, then I add extra information in there.
Yep.
On a basic cache, I put, just like that came out of the blogs, right? I do a template, do a report, a situation report on the container, the log, location.
Yep.
It's basic information. Everything's good.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yep.
But if it's something unique, then I put extra time into it, awarded a favorite point, do pictures and everything else. And
sure.
You can't do that for everything.
Nope. All right, here's another one. Assist geocache owners with minor maintenance. Replace a wet or full log sheet is an example.
Well, yes and no, right? So one, that absolutely is the owner's responsibility to do that.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that. If it's a community log, GeoArt, a lot of other stuff like that, add an extra sheet of paper is not a bad thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
However, that's a catch-22, right? Because if that's never going to be maintained and now you're just contributing to a non-maintained cache,
right,
that's not necessarily a good thing. However, if it's an active cacher and you're just adding a piece of paper because the log was wet or whatever, now don't take them out of there because a lot of people really want to have their logs, right? But
yeah,
that was kind of a catch-22. I don't know that that's always a good thing.
Okay.
Because you're basically at some point you're just doing maintenance for somebody that might not even they may be off doing Pokemon or something, Who knows?
They might be right. In which case the cache needs to be
go away. Yeah.
Cleaned up. Okay, here's another one. Log a DNF, a needs maintenance, and a needs archived whenever necessary.
So we've already done a whole show on this one. We could do 10 more, right? And that probably is number 1. Because I was already putting that in with the other one that we did, the very first one we mentioned, but this is the extension of that, the throwdowns.
Don't pick on Pokemon.
No, Tom, I'm not picking on Pokemon. But this is the number one thing that would raise quality. Stop keeping zombie caches alive. HQ has already gone to efforts to keep the historic ones alive. They've done the 2000 ones. They're working on that. We know that's a thing. They're protecting ones like that. But your standard cache where somebody gets in the game, finds 3, hides 1, and then leaves the next day, we're keeping those alive, and that needs maintenance would help that a lot. We've already gone to that big long thing, but I will say that that's the most important thing on that list.
You are correct. That's number 1 on that list.
Oh, and it should be. But
I had to get the applause. That was number 1. Number 2 was to assist cache owners with minor maintenance. I don't know if that should be number 2. Number 3 was to write an honest, constructive online log.
I think that's pretty important. Yeah, I think so.
Number 4 was to don't do a throwdown. Do not install new cache containers without consent. And number 5 was to award favorite points.
Yeah. I would agree with that ordering if you break out number 1 and number 4, right? I was grouping number 1 with number 4 when we started.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with that.
So that's you did very well on that one. You've and we all agree with most of that. So all right, here's the next question. If more geocache hiders took certain steps, how helpful would each be to improving geocache quality? Versus the last question, which was finders.
Okay.
So this is about hiders. If the hiders took certain steps, again, there was 5.
Look, maybe there could be unfavorable points.
Yeah, really.
As much fun as that would be, then it would become like a social media thing, right? That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So the results showed the best things hiders can do is, and we'll talk about them. Around 80% of responders ranked those steps as very or extremely helpful. So here they are in no particular order. Hide the kind of geocaches you would like to find.
Makes perfect sense, right? That does. As opposed, do you do that?
Oh yeah, I think so. It's rare that I would hide something. Once in a while, I have hidden something because I wanted that spot, and I'll go back and put a better cache.
Yeah.
Probably not really the thing you're supposed to do but I know that I'll put out a good cache, so it's kind of a.
Actually, get to it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a good one out. I mean, I promise. So I'm gonna put out a good one.
I say that's good advice, except I don't always follow it. But I'll explain that. Okay. So I'm not gonna hide anything that I would just like trash, right?
No, I put out it's in a good spot. It's
also hide what I know others like to find.
Yeah.
So, because we get to talk to a lot of people and everything else, and a perfect example of that, and I bag on them a lot, but earth caches.
Yeah.
I've hidden a bunch of those. Now, some of them are very simple stuff, and I've, as people know, there's a lot. It's rocks. They're not very different in different places, so I've hidden a bunch of those.
Right.
I've also hidden ones that are more interesting, all joking aside, more interesting, because I know people will enjoy those. Now, I've probably hidden and helped others hide as many as I've actually found.
Right.
But it's not because that's my favorite type of cache, but I know people really like those. So in that sense, you should hide what you like to find. But if you have something else that others really like to find, and I happen to live in Colorado, so they're abundant around here, locations, right? So I do hide those as well. But I would think hiding something that's decent enough that you would want to find it is pretty good advice.
Okay. So we'll figure out where that is in the top 5 here in a moment.
It's leading right now.
Okay, here's another one. Provide mentoring to new cache hiders.
Yes. Obviously, quality mentoring would predicate that answer. But, and I've told the story many times, I was lucky enough that I got some excellent cachers.
Right.
Pull me under the wing at the very beginning and really help me out. One even gave me a GPS and a map lesson and bought me coffee even, and did all these things, and it really helped me out. And I've had some good guidance from the beginning that I think, who knows, you can't predict, right? But I might not even stayed in the game if people like that hadn't helped me at the very beginning. So now there's no consistent way, there's no formal way of doing that. We've tried to come up with those many times, but if there was, it'd be awesome. But I think mentoring people is extremely important. No matter how far along in the game, there's somebody newer than you. And if you don't them out at all, or at least be friendly, be that person at the event or be that person that helps out. Or I think that's extreme. That's number one. I'd put that over the other one right now.
Okay. Here's another one. Host workshops to teach, and this is sort of similar to the other one, but host workshops to teach about hiding and finding caches.
That kind of goes with the mentoring thing, but I've done a bunch of those actually.
Yeah.
And those are very well received. And a lot of times people, I don't know why, but people don't want to do that. Not everybody feels comfortable doing it. So that's perfectly okay. But sometimes people don't want to take the time to do that because it takes a lot of effort to host a workshop and do those. And we have some great cachers in our area that have us before the pandemic, but had a monthly series of workshops and just kept them going and got new people in and everything else. And I think those are extremely important if you want to encourage community and cache quality, I think. And that's exactly what we're talking about. But I think that's very, very high on the list. That's excellent. That's an excellent opinion.
It's a good one. All right, here's another one for you. Maintain your own caches more regularly.
I mean, that seems obvious, right?
It does, but
don't fire. But yeah, I mean, I think that's very important.
And then fifthly, or in the top in this top five somewhere, is be more thoughtful about cache location and containers.
Yes, very important. Now that's hard to rank those five. It's very hard.
Workshops, mentoring, hide what you want to find, maintain them, and be thoughtful of location and container.
So, I see the CFO is joined now. She was busy on another meeting, but she has joined.
Okay.
Making sure I was being bullied while she was gone. Even though she's bullying me, I'm still going to give her a shout out. We celebrated our 22nd anniversary this weekend.
Woohoo!
It's stayed with me longer than that, obviously, but we've been married for 22 years, and I'm a very lucky man. So I just had to give a shout out to her. So, and to give me time to think about this answer. So,
thanks, Christy, for training up Jesse.
And
doing all you can.
Does he ever watch that hat?
Hey, Marcellus is out there.
I didn't know you could watch hats.
Way to go, buddy. He has been. We need to have Marcellus. By the way, while you keep thinking, we need to have Marcellus back on. He has been a traveling fool, so we need to talk to him sometime and find out.
Blogging every day.
Oh, the dude is blogging like nobody's business. It's awesome. Thank you, Marcellus. We appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah, if he's interested, I'd love to have him back on too. His blog is great, and he does this hook every time. So at the very end, he goes, "And now I'm going to ... Yep. You're like, oh, come on now.
Wait, where are you going?
You're doing it every time. I like it every time. So
yeah,
and constantly blogging. Like I could not write that. That's like a streak. I mean, it is a streak, but he's he's doing a streak or whatever. But
yeah,
I hated the streak. So okay, so I'd put hide what you want to find, mentor, maintain caches, workshops. And what was the last one?
Maintain your own caches.
Yeah, that said that one. What else you got?
Be more thoughtful about location containers.
Yeah, I think that's pretty important too. Maybe even above maintain your caches, because there's some, we've talked about it before, but I've come on caches before that I was like, this is not a good place to bring people.
So what's your number one?
I say.
What was your number one?
I think in general, now we could debate that, but hide caches that you would want to find is number one.
Nice try. You only had 5. No, I'm kidding.
What did they say was number one?
The survey of the 12,000 folks said in this order: be more thoughtful about location and container.
I can see that.
Okay. I mean, all 5 are kind of maintain your own caches. That's number 2.
Yeah.
Number 3 was hide the kind of caches you want to find. Number 4 was provide mentoring, and number 5 was to host workshops.
So here's the problem with those answers. One,
here's the problem.
The location that think about the location. If it's still a crappy cache, it's just a crappy cache on a good location. That's not a quality cache.
Yeah.
hide the cache you want to find. The problem with that is they may only want to find crappy caches and just get tons of numbers. That doesn't improve cache quality.
Right.
Maintain your cache. If your cache is not high quality, you're just maintaining a crappy cache. So none of those things are going to actually improve quality, but the others would. But all right.
You're embarrassing Marcellus, by the way. He says that tomorrow's. Go ahead.
Golly, 2 years.
2 years. And if you're wondering where to find it, it's geocachingwhileblack.com.
Yeah, it's WordPress blog is, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. Geocaching While Black. Check it out. It's awesome.
12,000 people can't be wrong. Oh, a lot more than 12,000 people can't be wrong. But we won't get into that right now.
All right, next one. We're rolling. We've got, how many more do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. And we got about 4 more, so we'll get through it.
Roll through these a little faster. Okay.
We'll get through it. Hopefully everybody's enjoying it. I think it's a fascinating list.
It's interesting to hear what people are, and I just curious to see where we've come in those 2 years, but go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. If Geocaching HQ were to adjust the requirements for hiding a cache,
oh dear, here we go.
How helpful would certain ideas be to improving cache quality?
Okay.
This one's could be a real can of worms, couldn't it?
Yes, it could. Well, and here's the deal. So before we even get into this, because I know what's coming up, right? This is a general rule because I already know what I'm going to suggest in a second.
Yep.
I already know an exception to that suggestion too. So let's get into it.
Okay. There are 6 this time instead of 5.
Okay.
In no particular order, they are the following. Speed up the process for problem caches to receive reviewer attention.
Okay, so I'm going to disagree with that one.
Yeah, well,
here's why I say that.
You can't disagree. It's just in the top 6.
But I absolutely can disagree. I put it at number 7 already, and here's why.
Go ahead.
But now I have a clouded judgment on this one, and the reason why is I have an awesome reviewer, right? Yeah. I have that on top of it, and now that may be because they're just awesome, and it may just be because compared to other reviewers, they don't have as big of an area. Although I don't think that's it because they have a huge area, but or just has more time to devote to it or whatever. But if we put like needs maintenance or needs archive on something,
right,
my reviewer's on top of it. So the process is already really fast. And not only that, you should know your reviewer in your area anyway. Just like Christy said, ours are very attentive. If I put needs maintenance on something, that goes through the standard thing or whatever. If I put needs archived on there, I get an answer really quick.
Right.
If I see something that's like if I go out somewhere, like I mentioned before, I went out and found like hypodermic needles at a cache.
Yes.
I put it in my area. But if I find that in my area, I'm going to immediately not only put a needs archive, but I'm going to email the reviewer right there on the spot and go, hey, this is very important. Please check this right now and do something with it, or tell me what I can do. Now that one, there's other things to do with that one. But I mean, for an example like that, now the few times I've had to do that, like I've seen something, and I've even talked to other reviewers when I've been traveling and I saw something, I was like, this doesn't seem right. I just want to bring this to your attention, Right. I've always had really quick responses. So I don't think the system is broken. I think they have a good system for that. Now, there are certain instances where people don't use that system properly. So to me, that is the bottom one. It's already ranked number 7 out of 6. So.
7 out of 6. Okay. Require new cache owners to successfully complete an online tutorial before placing a cache.
Say that one more time.
Require new cache owners
new cache owners
to successfully complete an online tutorial before placing a cache.
So they did this for the app, right? They did the app thing and they had to do an online tutorial.
Kind of, right?
I would say
people could skip it
though. If they made it a little more. So last time it was pretty
it was simple.
It's a good idea, depending on how well it's done. And I know they can do them very well because they've done some really good things recently, right? But if they actually did the thing where maybe there was a couple questions where you actually had to do a survey at the end, and maybe that is the plan. Maybe that's what they do. But I've been in the game for a long time, so we don't get to see these very often. But I think that could be very helpful. Like, hey, here's some basic things you need to know, and like at the end of it, you're like, now you're a certified hider. You're safe to be able to hide something.
Yeah.
Now, if they just say, if they do a 30-second video and you can just say, click, I watched it, that's not going to help anything.
No,
So
I agree.
the quality of what they've done. Yeah, they have the online tutorial, but unless there's some kind of responsiveness to it, if you can just click through it, that nobody's going to care.
Yeah, I think if you made it similar to, and you've probably had these at work. I know at my work we have ones where you have to answer them. If you don't answer enough of them, it starts all over again. And the questions and the questions and the answers are all randomized as far as the first question isn't the first question again. And the order, if there's like 4 answers, the order of the 4 are mixed and matched.
Click through is easy, yeah.
So the idea is you have to at least learn these items, or otherwise you can't get through the test.
And Marcellus did mention they do have online tutorial. Yeah, they do, but it just needs. Yeah. I would say it needs to be
required.
Yeah, keep the education aspect in mind, and say you feel like that if they've gone through this and answered the questions right, they have a general idea of what's going on.
Yeah,
just watching a YouTube video, that's not gonna cut it.
No.
If they can watch it.
Restrict total number of geocaches one person may own.
So this is not going to make people happy. I think unless
is this out of your top 6?
This is a hard one, right? Because there are some people that out there, and I know some people personally that have a lot of caches and they maintain every single one of them. In general, though, okay, all right, I'll say it. So if you're wanting to find a way, I'm not saying they should do this, but
right.
How helpful would it be? It would be very helpful, because if you could only place like 1 cache a month, let's say,
right,
like the labs or the virtuals or whatever, I think overwhelmingly you're going to place a much higher quality cache than if you're just unlimited like we are now.
Right.
Right. Like just, you could open 10 accounts and do 1,000 caches each this weekend on those. There's no reason for those to be high quality, but if you can only hide so many caches,
yeah,
you're going to hide them a lot more quality. Now, do I think there's a lot of reasons not to do that? There absolutely is. But could that drive quality up? Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That's fair enough. I agree.
It's that supply and demand, right?
Yes. Okay, here's another one to think about. Require cache owners to include a photo of their cache placement when submitting the cache for review. Would that help?
So I've had and so this is regional too, right? But I've had them say, I need a description of exactly how you've hidden the cache.
Sure.
I think that could help. I don't think that's going to like make high quality caches, but I think it'll eliminate some of the low quality caches.
Okay.
Right. Like I found a cache once that was a Sprite bottle with a torn up piece of notebook paper in it. Yeah. That was not a high quality cache. Now, I'm almost sure if they sent something to the reviewer. Now, does it qualify as a container? It does. It meets all the rules for it. Yeah. But except for the fact that it probably wasn't washed that well, so it's going to attract animals and stuff like that. Exactly. But technically, it's a container. So I think it could help. It wouldn't hurt. But right. I don't think that's really going to be very dramatic, because how many pictures are they going to get that's just a picture of a pill bottle? Yeah. Well, how many times then you get the same photo? It's like, wait a minute. Yeah. Somebody Googled geocache container. Right. And they just cut and pasted it. And it was like, that can't be what you're hiding. Yeah, that's probably the same one as everybody. Now, where that would help is, and I don't want to get into this because Christy yells at me all the time about it, but they might get the sizing a little more accurate. Right. People do not get that correct. Right. Overwhelmingly. But anyway, so somewhat helpful, but is not the number one on the list, I would say. So, okay. Okay. Require cache owners to address maintenance issues on their current hides before hiding new ones. Yeah, because right now it just says you should look at these and you can just go, nah. Ignore. Yeah, nah, ignore. I did that once this week. I said, I'll get to it, but I want to hide this other one. Yeah. So and I did. I went back and fixed the one that the same day I actually fixed, but at the time, yeah, it was actually the next day, but I skipped over it.
So probably not the smart thing to do.
There's a lot of exceptions to that one, right? Like, and especially like right now, sometimes you just And here's what I'd say: like, let's say you have 20 caches, and 15 of those are out in the mountains that it takes, a full weekend or whatever to get to. It's important to go get to that one, but it may take a trip to get into it. Or what if that's one that's only open part of the year? So that you can't do anything else for the rest of the year now, or you have to disable the cache. Now, if you have to disable the cache while it needs maintenance, then maybe that actually is a pretty good idea. It depends on how they work this one out, right?
Yeah, because, for example, I've got one that I've disabled because there's a fence around it. Because where it's at, the where it's hidden, that business is completely renovating. So I had to disable the cache. I could probably archive it, but I didn't want to really archive it. I had to disable it temporarily because I want people trying to get it, because again, it's in a construction zone right now. But does that then force me to wait? I can't put any caches out until that maintenance is done. I'll just archive it then, right?
Yeah. Now, so what I would say is, if you can, that would be okay if you could address it right? Like, you make a note on so like, there's current construction in the area. Well, there's needs maintenance on it, but if the owner gets on there and goes, I'm aware of this, and I'm either going to disable it or I'm offering an alternative here or something like that, then I think that's addressed. So I think you should address them, but it shouldn't lock an account up anytime somebody puts a needs maintenance on something that may not even be legit, right?
Right. Marcella says might be considered a percentage of it. That's not a bad idea too.
Like, help score, like if you don't have 98% of your stuff, you can't keep pushing things out. Yeah, absolutely.
Possible.
I like that.
All right, here's another one. Requires finding a certain number of caches before hiding one.
So here's what that would do. There's a couple things, and this is the one I knew was coming up. But like, there's certain people out there that love hiding caches. We even know a few that are like some of the top hiders, right?
Yeah.
They don't go out caching as much as they hide caches. And there was a guy that is a cacher that was north of us. In general, I say that's probably a good idea. Like, you should have some experience.
Yeah.
But the other side of that is, we have a cacher up north of us, and he was in a wheelchair, so he couldn't find tons of caches in this area. He's found and goes to events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He hid the best caches out.
Right.
I mean, they were like those hidden in plain sight, fake signs and stuff.
Cool stuff, yeah.
Real popular, and all of these, really tricky things. His caches were awesome. Yeah. But he didn't find that many, because in this area there wasn't a lot for him to find that he could get to. So in that case, it would block him. Sure. But setting a number like 25 or 50 or something like that, I don't think is a terrible idea, but it doesn't really do that much, because let's say they set the number to 1,000, something outrageous, right?
Something crazy. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I go to ET Trail tomorrow. That doesn't tell me how to hide a cache.
No, and you would maybe get too many people who would just go, yeah, I found that cache. Yeah. Oh, heck no, they didn't find that cache. They just did that because they wanted to get.
Adi Olson, he was hiding before finding. Are we not going to let Adi hide caches? We would all miss out, right?
Oh yeah, we can't have that.
Come on. Yeah, Kirsty said that is the exception except the rule. It is, right? Yeah,
she's right.
Yeah, you should have some experience before you start hiding caches. Maybe if it's even that type, right? Like they say, you need to find 10 traditionals before you hide your first one. Then you can hide as many as you want. Or maybe it's 10 multis or something before you do. You know what I mean? But if they set a number, there would have to be something to it, right? Like, let's say they set 100.
Yeah.
Somebody goes out and finds 100 traditionals tomorrow. Do they know anything about how to puzzle?
No.
That doesn't really help any. So
no.
I don't think that one is that great of an idea. I know people bring that up a lot, but what it would do is it would stop a lot of sock puppet accounts.
True.
Which I've been a part of too. Like, so don't get me wrong, right? For events, you open an event account and then hide a bunch of caches for that event.
Yeah.
So it would block a lot of that. So there'd be some unintended consequences for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so the 6 of the 6, which one do you think turned out to be the number one?
Okay, read them one more time. So that one, okay, go ahead. Read them one more time.
Speed up the process for problem caches.
Nope.
Require cache owners to include a photo.
Nope. So that's okay. 6, 5. Go ahead.
Restrict total number of caches one person can own.
Nah. Okay. No, not really.
Require new cache owners to complete an online tutorial.
So that's number 2.
Require cache owners to address maintenance issues on their current hides before hiding a new one.
So, okay, I'm going to say I'm going to rank these based on what I think would actually make a difference, not what I think is a good idea.
Okay, go for it.
Restrict number of caches by the owner. Tutorial number 2. 3 would be the maintenance. We're missing one.
Tutorial. Speed up the process for problem caches to receive reviewer attention. Require finding a certain number of caches before hiding.
Hiding, that's not going to do anything. There's way too much to that. I'd put that out of there. And then the reviewer attention thing, that's pretty low too, because there already is a system in place for that. Geocaching has done a great deal on that one. So those are the bottom couple ones. But man, what I feel wrong again?
I had to give you the buzzer on that one.
Okay.
Well, I do agree with you, but the 12,000 other people who cache that are really good at it, by the way.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I would have let me answer the quiz.
So their answers were require finding a certain number of caches before hiding a cache was number 1.
That's just too much to that.
I know. Number 2 was require cache owners to address maintenance issues before hiding a new one.
I think that should be in the top 3.
Yeah, but there's a lot to that.
There is, but you know what? It should be addressed. Require owners to address those before hiding new ones.
So, in a sense, like you would say, I addressed the issue. I took one of my caches offline. I disabled it because you can't get to it right now. So
that's not going to need maintenance anymore. It's disabled. Or put kind of note saying,
right,
this is the new thing you need to know. I'm going to be able to go get it this weekend or something. But
yeah, I addressed it. I addressed the issue because I've disabled it. Well, there's caches that you can't find part of the year anyway because it's in a it's in a deer area where where their hunting is going on. We'll get into that. Number 3 was require new cache owners to complete a tutorial.
That's number 3. I said number 3. I only got one of them wrong so far. So
pretty good. Number 4 was to speed up the process for problem caches.
I understand what people are saying, but I think the process is already good. People just need to use it better.
I agree. Number 5 was to require cache owners to include a photo. And number 6 was to
see how that would help some, but
Yeah. And the last one on the list was, or the number 6 was to restrict the total number of caches one person can own.
So I think that should be higher because it would create quality, although it would create a lot of problems also. And they're trying to make hiders be more responsible. They should. Hiders should be more responsible because that is your responsibility as a hider.
Right.
Do those things. The problem with that is all 5 of those things have good and bad things about them.
Sure.
When you're making a sweeping rule like that, now, if they could flesh those out a little bit more, I think they could do a lot with it because some of those things could really help the game a lot.
No, I agree. There's ways to do it. I think some of them are a little sticky.
Yeah, there are. But like anything in the rule, there's going to be exceptions too. So
yeah. Here's the next one: tool ideas ranked by how helpful they would be to improving cache quality. And what I mean, because I know you're going to ask, what is a tool idea?
Okay.
And this is based on hiding a cache. So let me give you examples.
So Cachely, Project GC, is that what you meant?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Here are the tools. There's
Okay.
5 of them. You will need to rank them. Here they are in no particular order. Allow basic members to give favorite points.
No.
No. It's top 5.
Okay, 5. That's the benefit of being a premium member.
I know. Okay, here's another one. Provide unlimited favorite points to premium members.
No. Because then every cache would have one on it. So that's not good either.
These are kind of bad, aren't they? Okay, next one.
Okay, here's why. Real quick.
Here's number 5A and 5B.
That's fine. If a basic member had one and geocaching wanted to lose out, I'm pretty sure that's just a premium thing right now, right?
Yeah.
There should be some benefit to being a premium member. They have to pay for their crap somehow, right? It's a business.
Right.
I know they want to keep it where it's open to everybody, but I don't think they should do that for a business standpoint either. But the other one, unlimited favorite points, they are worthless. That's like saying having unlimited money. It has no value anymore.
Has no value.
You get a favorite point. You get a favorite point. Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one.
There's no value to them anymore. If you don't have to earn something like that, it has no value. So take that off the list. Go ahead.
It's kind of why sadly the locationless caches basically became waymarking, which we won't get into tonight, but because we can't have good things. If they would have done it, if they'd allowed it to be done, if cachers would have done it properly, we might have avoided I think this McDonald's would be a great place for or whatever.
You can't blame cachers for using the tools that are at their disposal.
I know. All right, here's another one. Create a rating system, such as a 5-star for caches.
So I like that idea.
I do too.
I know, like, a third party tried to do that before.
Right.
We've talked about it on the show before. I can't remember the name of it or whatever. It was like stars or whatever. But I like that, but it's complicated and it would be very subjective. But I just like the DT rating, right? But I think that would be helpful. I like that one. I wouldn't want to have to build it because it seems very complicated, right? To make sure you're telling people what is a 2.5 star versus a 3-star, those kind of ratings. But I think it would be helpful. It's going to be very subjective. And they actually are already trying that anyway. They're doing it with the lab caches. So hopefully we'll find out. They actually have implemented that. So that one moves. That's number one so far.
Just finding a way said he'd like to limit hiding to premium only. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, and I know many people say that's not okay because you can't. But $30 a year for your hobby, I guarantee you, everybody's spending more than that in a year on everything else they do. So I think it should be that would be number one if that was on the list. But I'm sure it's not on any list here because geocaching HQ wouldn't do that. They have a different philosophy, right?
Yes. They
want to be the good guys and they want to make sure it's open to everybody. But if we're talking about what would improve quality, that would probably be the number one thing right there. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Another one is add a function to search by favorite point percentage. You can kind of do that I do it in Project GC.
You can't search by percentage, but you can, not easily, right, in geocaching.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be bad. I would put that above those other two silly ideas that you said. The first. Those are no's, but you know what? I'd put that under the 5-star rating, but I would say that's pretty good because if you have 100 favorite points on something in like the middle of nowhere, that's huge. If you have it in Denver, that just means it's a cache, right? That's
right.
A huge city. It doesn't really mean that much, but I like that. They already have a formula for it. It's already they already have access to that. It would be kind of cool if they did that. Like 100 favorite points, which is 50% of the, available favorite points. I like that one. That's actually pretty cool.
Okay. And the last one is to create a place for cachers to say why they favorited or rated a cache.
So the interesting thing with that is they actually that's on logs, right? That you can thumbs up or thumbs down a log now.
That's new. Depends on the app too, right?
Let me dissect that again.
Because you can do it on Cachly, but you can't do it on there, right?
Yeah, read that one out one more time.
Create a place for cachers to say why they favorited or rated a cache.
So you mean like a cache log?
Well, no.
Because isn't that what you should be putting in your cache log anyway?
Well, no, I agree. I see what you're saying. So if you click on, I'm putting a favorite, they're saying that it should have a small drop down that says why you're putting it. Why are you putting a favorite point on it?
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think that one's silly too. And here's why that's silly. If you're favoring a cache, you should not be putting TFTC anyway. You should be putting, this was a cool cache and I got it.
Right. And why is it cool?
Caches and stuff like that. So, maybe if they highlighted the logs of people that favorited a cache, when you're looking at a cache, way to do that. But that's supposed to be called your cache log.
Right.
Where you write why you favored the caches, you're writing why, the log history.
Now, before we'll get to it in a second, but
All right, go ahead.
Brad had a good point. Sorry, the adventure logs have nearly everyone in the area rates them as 5 stars. So maybe, but that's an adventure lab. I don't know if necessarily he's right. The 5-star thing might become a mess.
Well, yes and no. I think that's because adventure labs are new. So the quality of those are generally higher than an LPC, first of all, because you only get some of those, right? So most people spend some time to those, and I say most of those do if they were caches, a lot of those would get favorite points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially as a series. Because hardly anybody's just doing like stand in the parking lot and give me every letter of the Walmart sign, They're doing stuff that's cool. They're doing like, virtuals and stuff,
Yeah.
So I would say those do. I would say I can tell you that I have not 5-starred every lab cache I found.
I haven't either.
But it's also a small segment. So I would like to see what the actual stats are. Maybe headquarters would release that at some point, but
yeah,
they have already instituted that 5-star thing. And I like it. I think that's it's optional too, right? But maybe the 5-star is only for if you give it a favorite point. Maybe it's, I don't know, right? Like how cool of a cache was it? Or maybe it's just everybody, but maybe it's only premium members. Who knows?
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe just for premium members. Yeah. So.
But
all right,
3 of those were no's.
Okay, no's. So they're not no's.
One redundant.
They're 5. They're
out of those 5.
Out of those 5, which one was number 1?
2 good ones.
Okay, which one was number 1?
5-star number 1. Redundant the flat
star rating
number 2. And then all those other 3 are after that.
Okay, so you're going with 5 stars. It should have been number 1.
It should be number 1.
Sorry. Once again, you failed. Just kidding.
What did they put as number 1? Give us the order.
So here's the order. Number 1 was add function to search by favorite point percentage.
I'm not hating that. That is number 1 and 2. I agree.
You're right. You had it in the top 2. I agree. Okay. By the way, that's sort of the Wilson thing, which that's over in Project GC.
Which is a good thing.
It is.
There's books based on it. Go ahead.
There are books. I don't know any of them though, but
If you didn't swing, that's your fault.
I know it's my own fault for not doing that. Maybe I have. Could be. That's so shameless of me. Geocaches.
There you go.
2, and there's a 3rd someday, but that's
okay.
Not for now.
We're running out of time. What's the next 2 through 5?
Create a rating system was number 2.
So that's the 5-star thing. Okay, so I got 1 and 2. I just switched the order.
You switched the order. You did good. The 3rd one is and you don't care about the 3rd, but create a place for caches to say why they favorited it.
Yeah, so that's their cache log. Go ahead.
Allow basic members to give favorite points.
Again, why would HQ do that? That's like, it's all free. Go ahead.
And the 5th one, at least they're on the bottom of the list. Number 5 was to provide unlimited favorite points.
That's just silly.
That is silly.
That's just silly.
All right, we got 2 more. Let's figure out which one of the 2, and they're short because they're not 5. They just have 2.
I'll shut up more. I'll let you read the list, and then just
they're basically project ideas. Project ideas to recognize cache owners. So, and you're supposed to rank them by how helpful they would be to improve cache quality. Well, that's the same with all of them. So, let me give you the project ideas.
Okay.
I'm gonna combine the 2 into 1 just to make things a little simpler at a time. Okay, in no particular order, there are 4. So here's one of them: souvenir promotion that reward a variety of caching rather than high number of finds.
I love that.
Yep.
I like that. Their souvenir promotions they've done, and I think they've done some recently. Yeah. And so
they kind of implemented their
on this one, and I think it's that's really good. So.
Yeah, they've kind of. If you think about it, they kind of implemented that because this last one, the Wonders of the World, they don't they don't care how many you find.
Different types, different points, and stuff like that. And
yeah, they have different.
Mystery of the Museum was like that, or not Mystery of the Museum. Yeah, Mystery of the Museum.
Right.
Different cache types were worth other points, so there's advantage to it now. In fairness, you could just go out and blow it out with traditionals too, but they're opening up to people to have the ability to do that. So hopefully they will in the future do more of it, which they're experimenting. So, like find one of each cache type. Now that's
right.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be right, because the ones before that, for like the hidden creatures, you had to get point. It was a point system. So you had to get, that was based on your finds, like you had to find caches with a certain number of favorite points to get more points, kind of thing. So
here's one that Direwolf said, I think hiders should get some kind of virtual souvenir based on numbers of hides or amount of favorite points.
Yes.
I think the best part of that would be amount of favorite points. Because number of hides wouldn't exactly, that's just number of hides.
Right.
Number of quality hides, however you measure that, that would be the way to do it. And yeah, absolutely. Because those are the people who contribute to the game, right? So,
right.
Another
one is to rename the needs archive log to needs reviewer attention. We've talked about that before, but
I think the reviewer knows that.
Yeah. Needs archived kind of, most people,
just do it. Don't be scared. Just throw it in there. Nobody's going to slap you. It's okay.
Yeah.
If it needs
archived, the opposite.
Right.
Yeah. I've had the opposite. I told you when the whole story about the one who never found a cache before and marked mine as needs archived because they couldn't find it. And I went and looked. It's like, they haven't even found one yet. How do you know what you're looking for?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And it was a hard one too, because it was hard, but for somebody who's never found one, a fake pine cone, well, it was a real pine cone, and I attached a container to it. So the person started with the wrong one and then immediately said it needed to be archived.
There's going to be those new hiders.
There will be.
Anyway.
I sent them a note. Hopefully they're still in the game. I didn't try to scare them away, but give option to hide a unique cache type like virtual rewards. I think they did that.
You know what? They've done that, and that's good because the overwhelming majority of those virtuals, the new ones, are good.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are really good. I agree.
I think I've only found one that was just average.
Yeah.
And I understand what they did. I understand why they did it.
Yeah.
I even give them a pass on that one, right? Because they were trying to get a certain location, but it was hard to get a very unique question based on that. So that one has to be 100% because it worked. So,
yeah, it did. They implemented it. The last one on the list was to create visible website status for owners of high quality caches. That's an idea they should.
Now is that like what was just brought up? Like you get your profile highlighter, do you get a souvenir or a badge or something if you're a high quality cacher?
Yeah, see, they should. I think that would be good to have because you could immediately look at if there was a way where you could look at the map, and on the map there's like a cache, and if they could do something with that icon so that you would know by just looking at the map, like it's gold or something. I don't know, some other color. Well, gold's not good, but you get the idea.
Yeah,
the idea is you could look at that and go, oh, not only is there a cache at this location, I know it's probably good because the person that hit it is in the category of a quality hider.
Yeah. Now, I think that is one of the best things they could do. And here's why. Now, I don't know how they would do it, right? I'm not even trying because that's why they got a whole company to do that, right? And they have like 5,000 employees, right? Isn't that correct?
Something like that.
Just about 5,000 or 26, whatever it is. But if they could have if you do X, Y, and Z and high quality caches and keep your stuff maintained and if you look on geocaching.com, and maybe if it's not even like on the mobile apps as much as it's, I don't know how to do it, right? But you see charter member, if you saw excellent status hider or whatever they wanted to call it or whatever, where your little profile thing is.
Yeah.
Or on the profile hides or whatever else, people would try to achieve that. Whatever those stats were. People do some crazy stuff for stats, right? And challenges and everything else. We always talk about that.
Yeah.
But if you can do something that earns you a badge, and you have to stay at a certain thing to be able to do that,
Right.
and it's not something you can brute force, like you really have to do quality stuff, people would go crazy to earn that badge or whatever that system is, right? Your profile, or you have a special rank or whatever.
Marcellus is just saying if you could put a mark on a high favorited cache.
Yeah.
So you would know
reward people somehow to do that.
Right.
People go out of their way to do that. I think that's the number one thing you could do.
Yeah.
Because people are going for a goal, right? You think people with limited access, like to those virtuals, are going to do them, but like some people have said they found average ones or whatever.
Sure.
But they'll find more. You'll probably find more of them that are better than not.
Right.
Or more of them that are better than like traditionals on average, because it's watered down, right? It's, it's more exclusive. But I think we're going to steer away from that one. But
which one?
But there's definitely something that you can do. Your number one premium hider or something, But
yeah. Well, and Owen brings up a good point. Is I do that. I'm sure you do that too. I've done it before too, where I look at an area and I will sort by favorite point. If I'm going to visit the kids in Little Rock, I'm going to go, okay, well, what's the current list of favorite points for that area? And
people mentioned badge gen, and we've talked about that before, with the badges and stuff on Project GC. The Project GC owns now the badge gen stuff, stats.
Yeah.
There's some really good things on there, but I think that is, and people do some crazy stuff to achieve those. However, it's still a side thing.
It is.
If you do it on the main GCHQ thing, I can tell you now, I would do it. I'd be going for it. My profile would have that badge no matter. I would figure out a way to get it. Yeah. That's the kind of achievement I like to have, right? So that would be an important top achievement for me.
And that's, as we wrap up tonight, but that's definitely another show we need to do is badge gen.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's some cool stuff out there that I never even looked at. And you can, on Project GC specifically. Cacher Z's right. Gamification works. It just does.
Well, it does on everything, but especially in this game.
Yeah, they are
on that premise.
Yeah, they are right. But because if you look at those, there's some cool stuff. I mean, like I said, we need to talk about that some night. They have ones about like how many you found underground. I mean,
yeah,
I would never have thought of that. I mean, I think I've only done one, but I think I'd do 4 more if there was a badge for 5. You know what I'm saying? Right?
I would as well. Yeah. If those were on the official geocaching HQ profile, it'd get even more, than it does now, which people love it now, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. If you're at Emerald setting for something, you did 150 and you need to get to 200 or something. You're like, where are the other 50 I can go find?
I guess what I'm doing now.
That's right. So yeah. All right. It's time to wrap up. What'd you think? What's your final thoughts on the?
So I actually think, and I know we didn't really get to this part of it because I talked too much, but I think HQ has taken this information and has enacted some of these things. And
I agree.
I think quality has improved. Now, it's always a balance, right?
Yeah.
It's a good question. People are flocking to geocaching because they need things to do. The majority are going to be brand new cachers, so that quality is not going to help any. However, I think HQ is doing some good things to get some quality in there right now. I think those are positive steps.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting, and again, we've really milked this cache quality questionnaire survey for all it's worth, but I think it was worth it to do that.
It is because it's an ongoing topic that always changes, right?
It is. It brought up a lot of. I think hopefully the audience appreciates the discussion because I think it has been fascinating for you to look at it. For me to sort of present you with the questions.
Yeah.
I think it's been interesting. So hopefully they'll do another one. That was a few years ago, but I've enjoyed it.
Well, and that's one of our main missions of this show, right? Like our unwritten, unspoken, but we say them, behind the scenes all the time. Besides entertainment, because we always want to have fun. That's why we're here, right? Have fun, everything else in a game.
Yeah.
But we also want to do everything we can do to help to improve the game.
Yes.
Improving the game is important for all of us because just like everybody else, without getting into a long thing, geocaching has done great stuff for us and our family. And if I can do anything to get back to that and improve the game and we can help with that, we should be looking at that regularly because it's just fun.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to be fun for years to come, right? 20 years down, we need another 20. So
Direwolf, we twisted his arm far enough. He's going to give a thumbs up.
He's going to do it now. So, all right, good.
Well, thanks. And if Direwolf is willing to give a thumbs up, oh my God.
Come on, everybody.
I would think everybody should. I mean, if we
stand up to that scrutiny, come on.
We twisted his arm and he's willing to do it, then oh my goodness.
Yeah, and you know what? If you aren't having fun, you're doing it wrong.
You're right.
That we would have an awesome time.
Cacher Z is correct. All right. Thanks, everybody. We went a little long tonight, but hey, sometimes it happens. So it happens.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight, as well as our new format. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.
There you go. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.